ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मृतं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to our ISKCON Bulla official YouTube channel. Today I am going to discuss 6th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, in which there is instructions of Prahlada Maharaj to his students or to his friends, student friends. So, in the first verse, Prahlada Maharaj says, once in the school the teachers were absent, so in the meantime the students all were very much interested for playing, but Prahlad was not interested. So they asked Prahlad, please come, let us play. There is no student, no teachers are not there, we can play now. So Prahlad Maharaj gave instructions, very famous instructions. What are those? So in the first verse he says, Kumara charti pragyo dharman bhagavataniha durlabham manusam janma tadapi adrubam artadam. When human beings are children, they should be taught that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the worshipable deity for everyone. If the students will say, let us do it afterwards. So they say, Prahlad says, no, this is adruvam. One cannot say how much lifespan one has, but it is arthadam. It will give the paramartha, it will give the love of Godhead. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada Maharaj says, the Krishna consciousness movement is anxious to serve human society by teaching people to perform devotional service, which can save a human being from being degraded again to animal life. Again, Prahlad Maharaj in verse 3 instructs, if the students will say, if we will engage in this devotional service, what about our maintenance or material pleasure? So Prahlad Maharaj says, Sukam Aindriyakam Daitya Deha Jogin Dehinam Sarvatra Labhyate Daivad Yatha Dukham Ajatnatha. That means, Prahlad Maharaj continued, my dear friends, born of demoniac families, the happiness is perceived with reference to the sense objects by contact with the body can be obtained in any form of life according to one's past fruitive activities. Such happiness is automatically obtained without endeavor, just as we obtain distress. Srivastava Swami in his purport says, Nanu bhoga udyama katham tyajya tatraha. How can we reject or leave the endeavor for getting enjoyment? For that, Prahlad Maharaj gives this verse. Then again, Prahlad Maharaj says, Tat prayaso na kartabhyo jata ayur bhaya param na tatha vindata khemam mukunda charanam bhujam. One should not be very much interested in material enjoyment. Instead, one should be satisfied with whatever material profits are easily obtainable. And because the duration of one's life is very short, one should utilize every moment for spiritual advancement. In the purport of Prabhupada Maharaj says, such a civilization is condemned because it doesn't lead humanity toward knowing the real goal of life. Sorry. Then Prahlad Maharaj says in verse 6, Punso varsha satamahayus tadardham chajitatmana nisparam jadasuratriyam seti andham prapitastamha. Every human being has a maximum duration of life of 100 years, but for one who cannot control his senses, half of those years are completely lost because at night he sleeps 12 hours, being covered by ignorance. Therefore, such a person has a lifetime only 50 years. In this way, purport of Prabhupada says, Lord Brahma, a human being, and an ant all live for 100 years, but their lifetime of 100 years are different from one another. The standards is there. So in the tender age of childhood, when everyone is bewildered, one passes 10 years. Similarly, in boyhood, engaged in sporting and playing, one passes another 10 years. In this way, 20 years are wasted. Similarly, in old age, when one is invalid, unable to perform even material activities, one passes another 20 years wastefully. In this way, the life is wasted. So, and when one marries, what happens? Kathang priyaya anukampitaya sangang rahasang ruchiransya mantran suhu susneha sita sisunang kalakhiranang manurapta chitta. That the very sweet words of wives or near and dear ones, this is one cannot forget it, and particularly the broken language of the children, that also one is attracted towards that. In this way, life is, life is being wasted. One may wrongly think in the beginning of our lives, let us enjoy material facilities, and in old age, we may become Krishna conscious. Such materialistic thoughts are always useless because in old age, one cannot be trained in the spiritual way of life. Therefore, from the very beginning of life, one should engage in devotional service, Sravan Kirtana Vishnu. This is the duty of all living entities. Prabhupada Maharaj said, for such a man to get out is extremely difficult unless he is helped by a strong person, the spiritual master, who helps the fallen person with the strong rope of spiritual instructions. A fallen person should take advantage of this rope, and then the spiritual master or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, will take him out of the dark well. So we are in the dark well, family life. So Prahlada Maharaj further says, Dharmarth Kama iti jo avita trivarga dikya trainayadamo vividhasta bhata mani tad akilam nigamasya satyam shatmarpanam so sruda paramasya punsa. Religion, economic development, and sense gratification, these are described in the Vedas as trivarga, or three ways to salvation. Within these three categories are education and self-realization, ritualistic ceremonies performed according to Vedic injunction, logic, the science of law and order, and the various means of earning one's livelihood. And these are the external subject matters of study in the Vedas, and therefore I consider them material. However, I consider surrender to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu to be transcendental. And the purport of Prabhupada says, if one very strictly performs the various duties of religion but doesn't ultimately come to the platform of surrendering to the Supreme Lord, his methods of attaining salvation or elevation are simply a waste of time and energy. So material education is infected by three modes of nature, but spiritual education, for which there is a great need in human society, is transcendental. Prahlada Maharaj disclosed the secret of how he had received instruction from Narad Muni. The students asked Prahlad, you are with us, how our teachers have not taught these subjects, how you are able to do this? Prahlad Maharaj says how he got these instructions from Narad Muni. By accepting the lotus feet of Prahlad Maharaj, who is in the Parampara succession, one will be able to understand the mode of spiritual life. In accepting this mode of activity, there is no need of material qualifications. After Prahlad Maharaj's class, friends had listened to Prahlad Maharaj. They inquired how he had become so learned and advanced. In this way, the chapter ends. So Prahlad will begin how he got this knowledge even in the womb of his mother from Narad Muni. So we'll discuss it in later chapters. So thank you very much for listening to this lecture, and please don't forget to subscribe, share and like our channel and get blessings of the Lord.